Okay. The Star Wars Hotel.
I don't like Star Wars.
Me neither.
Me either.
But this is pretty relevant to us because there's a lot of escape room elements to the design of this.
Mm-hmm.
So, some bullet points that we can talk about. The Star Wars Hotel is a 2-day event. It's an immersive theater, escape room, ride, and obviously hotel. Concrete bunker basically is the building, and all windows are digital space. Live character cast members to interact with. There's a Kylo Ren invasion, for anyone who knows who Kylo Ren is. Lightsaber training. Admission to Galaxy's Edge. And it's in the Orlando location. Does a fully immersive event like this, where it is 100% hardcore immersion, you can't break. At no point are you leaving that facility. The only time you leave it is to go do Galaxy's Edge, and you're not able to go to other parts of the theme parks.
Are you just stuck in Star Wars?
Yes.
That sounds terrible.
48 hours locked in Star Wars. And you can't just be bystander in the back. You have to participate in everything.
Sounds terrible.
And you're inside of just concrete walls. Now, granted, it's digital windows, but I kind of feel like people are going to crack in there in 48 hours.
Well, you lose all sense of time without it. Windows.
Yeah.
Unless,
yeah.
like, they have scenes that kind of portray, like, the passing of time.
They're in space.
I don't know. Time still passes in space.
No one hears you
So
scream.
you don't see you have no sense of when it becomes day or night.
Well,
just
they
in
use, like,
space.
a sunrise. Who cares?
I don't know. So, like, I guess let's kind of break this down. So, 2-day event. Here's the immediate thing that jumped out at me on a 2-day event problem. I go to Orlando. I check in at the Star Wars Hotel. But I want to go to the other parks. 48 hours later, I have to check out from the Star Wars Hotel and then go check in at another hotel and do it all over again.
That has to be like stupid expensive. I mean, going to Disney in and of itself is expensive, and then Galaxy's Edge itself is also kind of expensive too. I forget if we talked about the price point one of the last times.
We did in an older event, yeah.
But, between having to go, just you have the exclusive pass to Galaxy's Edge, which is probably added into the cost of staying in the hotel. So you're probably paying slightly less than you would normally at a discount. But even so, just that to just do that for 2 days where you can't leave, and then to go explore the rest of Disneyland, you're spending more money on top of that.
Right.
Like, is going down to Florida worth 48 hours for that? I don't know. I mean, like, I wouldn't. Like, I would do one or the other. I wouldn't do both.
For one, I don't know why they didn't put this in California. I feel like a 2-day California thing is easier to sell than Orlando, where they have everything else. In California, you've got Disneyland.
Right.
I'm pretty sure the reason they're not is because California's got Avengers Campus opening.
Sure.
So that's going to be their big draw for that location. But I kind of feel like opposite would have been better. I just think they don't have the legal rights to do that because Universal has the X-Men characters and Hulk and
right.
For Orlando. So there's probably rights issues. But it's just that element of 2 days and then I have to completely redo my whole vacation.
Right. Yeah, it just seems... again, the cost of that all just seems like really prohibitive.
Now, on your note of cost, Galaxy's Edge is a sinking ship. It's not making money. And it's not just to say, we're not Star Wars fans, so, there's people that are. They're not paying for it. From what I understand, Galaxy's Edge is still missing rides that they opened with, one of 3 attractions. So maybe people are waiting for the other stuff to open. From what I understand, the ride that's open is not even, the headliner. It's just more about exploring the land
Right.
right now. But are people going to wait until the other stuff is open and then pack the house? But as is, no one's packing that house. From what I understand, like, crew was told to invite family
So,
and stuff to, like, make sure people are walking the streets because it's desolate. And when they opened, for example, Pandora, the Avatar ride in Animal Kingdom, that was like a 9-hour wait.
yeah.
Like, when we were there last year, it was, I want to say, 3 or 4 hours, and that was already open for over a year. Like Disney has like their after dark passes and stuff like that if you stay at the resorts, so that this way you can take advantage and do that. But it's just I don't know. I think it's a lot to ask.
No, it certainly is. I mean, I'm sure Star Wars fans would go down there for 2 days, but like I couldn't justify going to Disneyland for the Star Wars section of Disneyland for 2 days and then
Right.
go home. Like it's not worth it.
No. If I'm going to Disney World, I'm going to everything. Like maybe not everything, but like I'm going to my favorite parks.
Yeah, and like when I travel, I try to justify the length of time it takes to get to that location versus how much time I spend there. And even then, 48 hours for what's the flight, like 5 hours?
What, to Florida?
Yeah,
2.
Like even so, like it's like the whole hassle of having to get onto a plane and make all those arrangements for 2 days
Yeah.
just seems
Yeah.
not worth it.
What I guess cost-wise it would have been more expensive. Maybe they didn't even have the proper property to do it. But I kind of feel like it should have just been a regular hotel that you could stay at.
Yeah,
Your participation stuff is for those 2 days. But that shouldn't mean that you're kicked out at the end of 48 hours. Stay there for the next 3-4 days, whatever you're doing,
Yeah.
and then leave. But I know the hotel's not big enough for that. So it's easy to book this hotel out because it's not big
yeah,
as far as scale of their resorts goes. Now, it is showing the direction that entertainment's going, that this hotel is immersive theater with performances and stuff like that with in-character, actors, that there's interactive elements, challenges, and puzzles like an escape room. There's some ride elements inside. I know, like, when you're looking out the windows even, there's, like, galactic battles from time to time out the windows that are just on random times. So there's, kind of like when you're walking through a Disney park, there's random shows in the streets. There's random shows in the windows or characters coming through. It's like Chewbacca helps you with your luggage when you arrive. Like, it's silly stuff like that. But, if I'm going to Orlando I think we've said this on a prior episode too, as a family, usually when I go, it's myself, my wife, my daughter now, and my in-laws. Half of those people are going to want nothing to do with this.
yeah.
So how do you sell that to a family? You're selling this to Star Wars addicts, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a generational thing, Star Wars fandom. Like, people just show their kids that stuff, which is probably a form of abuse to begin with. No, I mean, the fandom of Star Wars runs pretty deep, and it's become even more pronounced with the new films and stuff like that. But, I'm sure they'll eventually make money off of it. But, I mean, it just, like, even if I was a Star Wars fan, to me, that, like, as a passive Star Wars fan, that just doesn't seem worth it.
Well, the other element there is back to the whole, it's a concrete bunker, digital windows. It's not a massive resort space. You can only fit so many people in the building, which leads us into the exact same predicament that we tend to fall into, which is when you can only do so many people per showtime, and now your showtime is 2 days, you have to charge more.
Yeah.
Most escape rooms don't really seem to get this concept that you have to have a higher ticket price to justify the fact that you're only letting 10 people in.
Right.
they're going to be in the same boat where it's almost like no matter what, they're going to be stuck charging an arm and a leg because they have to.
Yeah.
They can't get enough people to float through this thing.
I mean, it sounds pretty passive, though, as far as... I mean, like, you're in there, but it doesn't sound like you have to do everything. Like, there's nothing stopping you from just, like, chilling in your room for 2 days.
Right. Right.
But, yeah, I mean, like, it just sounds... It sounds like it would be really cool for, like, maybe, like, 5 or 6 hours before it just becomes, okay, I want to go home. Like, even when I go on vacation, it's like, this is great, but now I want to go home.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be a little tough on that. Now, the live character cast member stuff, which kind of ties right into, like, the Kylo Ren invasion. I'd imagine security on this is going to be ridiculous. Because, you know, when the villains storm in,
Yeah.
who's going to be the first to hit a cast member? You know, even if it's a little kid that's just like, you know, ball punch.
Yeah, I mean, do they do it, like, you know, like at midnight when everyone's trying to sleep? I mean, that would be kind of fun. You know, you're sleeping, and then all of a sudden, like, the alarms start going off, and, like, we're being invaded. You have to defend the ship or whatever.
Well, like, that almost goes into, you know, we used to talk about, like, with Windward Hotel when it was at the public house, you know, if people had stayed there, having, like, you know, Sarah go in as Emily Taylor, the ghost, and haunt them at, like, 2 in the morning.
Yeah, there's...
Like, it sounds hilarious to us conceptually, but put yourself in the shoes of the guest.
Yeah, that's not going to end well for anybody.
No, it's like anything after 10 p.m. probably needs to be, by choice, passive.
I mean, the fact that you even make that an option is just asking for trouble, I think, too. It's like, it sounds cool until it's 3 in the morning and fucking stormtroopers kick open your hotel room door.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Oh my god!
I mean, I guess you have nothing to worry about because I can't hit anything anyway. But,
And how many people are going to be, like, cosplaying as, like, 2 of their favorite characters and screwing in bed when they barge in?
yeah, I mean, and then you have the other problem, too, that kind of piggybacks off of that. You know, if they serve alcohol, what's to stop other hotel goers from just doing that to other people? You know?
Yeah,
They'll
and
probably
are
be
you allowed
touchy.
to cosplay? Like, you know,
Yeah.
or what if you show up as the characters? Is that allowed? You know, or do you have to put on Star Wars garb and be like, you know, part of this group?
Yeah, I don't know.
And I think, like, the story takes place on, like, a planet that's not in the movies, or, like, it's referenced but not, you know. It's supposed to be like you're on a cruise in space type of thing. Sort of. But I would be very concerned for the cast. That, you know, I mean, how many times do we hear with Boogeyman, like, oh, if it comes too close, I'll be taking a swing. You know, it's like, and we intentionally choreograph Boogeyman so that whenever the Boogeyman shows up, for the most part, they're incapacitated or unable to do that. This is a situation where, like, the characters are storming in and there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
So, I'd be a little concerned there. Lightsaber training sounds fun. But I almost feel like you're at that point talking about a, what the hell is it called with the, you know...
Fencing?
Fencing.
Yeah, I guess.
It sounds like a fencing class. You know, but with beams of light that don't really do
It's gonna
anything.
be like the plastic ones that you get at the
I mean,
toy
the-
store.
No, they're going to make you build your own for $500, and then you can use it in your training
I
session.
mean, I've used some of the stunt sabers that they make, where it's pretty much like this full blown replica of the handles, the shafts, and then they just have like this
Glow stick.
No, not even. It's just a piece of like fiberglass, like this fiberglass pole that you would find on like traffic reflectors, and they just have that like Allen keyed into the handle, and then you just use that. I mean, they make ones that are like, you know, full blown replicas that light up, but I think for like actual training they have like stunt sabers where it's just this fiberglass pole, and you just use that.
That's probably how they'll do it then. I'd imagine they're not going to go way too overly complicated. So, that's in a nutshell, though. Star Wars Hotel. That's our opinion on everything going on with it. There is no price point set yet. There is no opening date officially announced. I have a feeling this is still a little ways away, and I also have a feeling they're waiting to see how Galaxy's Edge does over the holiday season before they set a price point. Because holidays are fairly big for the parks.
Yeah.
And we hope you'll join us next time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't below. Like, comment, subscribe. And